Looking at me right now, you may think it is nice and looks gorgeous, but today is hot here in Iowa and humid. It's in the 90s today. In this video, I'm gonna go over what you need to know, including if you need AC here in Iowa, what night temperatures are like here in Iowa, storms, tornadoes, and everything else about Iowa summers, as they are not for everyone and unlike anywhere else in the nation. Luckily, after today and tomorrow being in the 90s, we're gonna get a break and drop back down in the upper 70s and low 80s during the day for at least a week. Let's start with one topic that most are very interested in hearing about, and that is storms and the T word, tornadoes. To be honest, I have never even seen a tornado, and I have lived in eastern Iowa my entire life. This does not mean that I haven't been part of a terrible storm like the derecho in Cedar Rapids in 2020. A derecho is an inland hurricane, and we had 100 to 140 mile per hour winds for 45 minutes straight during this storm. And much of Cedar Rapids, including our home, had damage. We had over $15,000 of damage ourselves on our home, but many lost their entire homes during this storm. I'm not saying this to scare you off of Iowa, as part of the price of living in Iowa in the Midwest is you will have to learn how to navigate Iowa storms. Most years you get by, and it isn't like the movies where every day we are afraid of our lives in Iowa, but it can happen, and you just have to prepare the best you can. Back to tornadoes though. Let me say this. Is it a possibility? Absolutely. But tornadoes are so local that most likely you won't be hit by one. But being we do get them, make sure to consider having a safe spot in your home so you are safe in the event one would hit your home. Flooding is something that you need to know about Iowa summers, as right now the town of Spencer, Iowa has a terrible flood. Northern Iowa has been hit hard by rain, and Spencer, Iowa in northwest Iowa is unfortunately underwater. Pictures are horrendous, and with lots of rain, the shallow rivers, they tend to flood here in Iowa. Our prayers are out for those affected by the flooding, not just in Spencer, Iowa, but all over Iowa. Flooding is something that is going to happen in Iowa, and it's best to know where the floodplains are and if your home is in an area that could flood. Another common summertime hazard when it comes to weather is hail. We get large hail here in Iowa, sometimes as large as baseballs or even bigger. Luckily, again, I have not had any run-in with hail big enough to damage my cars or home, but many people in Iowa get hail damage throughout the year. To be honest, tornadoes get the clicks and views on social media, and reasonably so, as if it hits your home, it is devastating. But the other hazards such as hail, thunderstorms, and flooding are more than likely to hit your community than a tornado. With all this said, if you are getting value, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and tap that bell. And if you're considering moving to Iowa, we would love to help. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, as we are the top relocation team in the state, and we'd love to help you make that smooth move to Iowa. Now I want to get into temperatures and humidity. First, I want to give you the worst of the worst, and that is you do get heat here in Iowa. It typically does have a few days that get close to or over 100-degree Fahrenheit marker. Those days are brutal, as there is more humidity than a normal 100-degree day in the southern states. These days are downright miserable and will have you inside soaking up the air conditioning. So yes, you do need air conditioning in Iowa. The average summer day is in the mid 80s here in Iowa with high humidity. Even though it may not be as hot, you get more humidity during these low to mid 80 days. What I'm trying to bring across is Iowa is humid, and there is a graph from the worldpopulationreview.com on your screen right now, and has Iowa as the 6th most humid state in the nation. I have seen graphs in the past where Iowa is in the top 5, even number 1 most humid state in some years. You can expect to be sweaty and unable to dry off outside. So when is it hot in Iowa? The hot days start as soon as May and can go all the way sometimes even through September. Although in May and September, you most likely have many mild days mixed in. During June through August, it typically is and can be uncomfortable. The great thing about our climate here in Iowa is that it makes growing gardens, crops, and all agricultural things a dream. That is why it is a popular homesteading state. In fact, I did a video on homesteading in Iowa. Make sure to check it out after you finish this video. I don't know if you've noticed so far, I got bugs all around me. I want to tell you what to expect during summers when it comes to bugs. Spiders, like many other states, are very common, from daddy longlegs, wolf spiders, and even poisonous spiders such as the brown recluse and black widow spider. Luckily, again, I have never personally been bitten by a poisonous spider, but I am sure people do get bitten by them each year here in Iowa. We do have gnats here in Iowa that are downright annoying, and I actually got them flying by me right now. Although mostly harmless, unless they bite you in the eye area, which is rare, but I have seen people get bitten there by them, and their eyes swell up really huge, honestly. But typically, they just like to buzz around your head like they are right now, and can really get you all worked up and annoyed quickly, as they are relentless. Mosquitoes are also in Iowa and can be vicious. I have always been someone that mosquitoes absolutely love, and other people that are around me, friends and family, love it as they all bite me and leave the other people alone. I don't know if it is my blood type or what. There's a small black bug that only comes out for a short time here in Iowa, but they will bite you and bite you and bite you during that time of year. If you know the type of bug I'm talking about, leave those in the comments. The last bug I want to talk about is the tick. This nasty bug is one I take great lengths to avoid as they are disgusting and can cause disease. If you're going to go into the timber or around trees, make sure you have someone check your body, as the last thing you want is the tick sucking your blood for any length of time. For gardeners, there can be cabbage caterpillars, which we're dealing with right now in our garden, beetles, and all sorts of insects to keep out of your garden. Those are the most annoying bugs here in Iowa, but I did want to add in snakes are not so big of a deal here in Iowa, although you will find gardener snakes, brown snakes, bull snakes, and on a very, very rare occasion, rattling snakes. But again, I have never seen a rattling snake myself in Iowa. I do not like snakes, so I am grateful for that. We're not in Kansas when it comes to wind here in Iowa, but luckily with our humid temperatures, we almost always have a breeze. It can get annoying sometimes, as when you have mild temperatures, it seems like the wind is absolutely out of control. Today it's actually fairly nice and the wind is perfect. Expect wind in Iowa, and it can be a blessing or a problem. After all these negatives, one thing you can do to survive Iowa summers is go to the Iowa State Fair. It is so underrated and one of our favorite things to do in the summer. We don't get to go every year, but the food there is special, and just about anything and everything you'd ever want when it comes to food. It is a super clean fair, and it is a fun time whether you're single, retired, or have a bunch of children.